I'm going right now. We're up. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Film Nerds. This is our fourth official stream. I'm Jared Wackerly at Jared Wackerly FF on Twitter. We got Garrett Price in the house at Dynasty Price on Twitter. What's up, Garrett?
How's it going, buddy?
What's up, Nick? We got Nick Whalen in the house at _ Nick Whalen on Twitter, of course. What's up, dude?
It's my second podcast tonight, so I was a little hoarse after the first one. What?
This isn't a podcast, bro. Come on, this is a stream.
So whatever. I have to talk in front of the camera.
It's
There's
so
a
much
microphone.
more, Nick. Stop selling us short.
Jeez.
But
this is how we're going to start this off. Fine, whatever. I'm just going to be anti everything. It's a war now.
But we're especially excited because we have our first ever guest on the stream here tonight. He is the founder of firstdowntraining.com, and he has a YouTube channel on YouTube. It's called First Down Training, and I am a huge fan. I stumbled across his work, and I am obsessed with it. I've actually learned a ton from watching this guy's videos. He just goes through the intricacies of playing wide receiver, quarterback, just any of the skilled positions. He does private trainings with players coming up out of high school. He does a lot of informal videos, just talking to guys, this is how you need to go through the recruiting process. This is what you need to do. This is how you contact coaches and stuff like that. So it's just really good. Provides a lot of good value out there for young kids coming up. So very happy to have him on here to help us break down some of the top wide receivers in the class, and Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb. So nonetheless, Grant Caraway, thanks for coming on.
Oh, yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So I'm going to start off here with one of Grant's videos just to give you guys a little more insight to what he does.
All right, guys, so today we're going to break down this route by Cole Beasley here. We're going to talk about changing speeds in the route and dropping your hips aggressively to get in and out of this route. So you see how when he comes out the line, he's real patient here. Why is he patient? Because when he makes this break to the slant here, he wants to get a reaction off this DB. He doesn't want this DB here to get kind of a read on his timing. He doesn't want the DB to understand his timing. So he takes it really slow, closing the gap with this DB.
The most defending fact.
All right, there is a sound on the video here, so
I was wondering.
Lulling him to sleep here, then he makes this break to the slant. And when he kicks up to the slant, you can see he accelerates. He's starting to pump those arms. He commits his shoulder. He's fast because he wants a reaction out of this DB. He wants the DB to think he was trying to slow play him and then just beat him on a slant. But now how we get him to overcommit and how I beat him at this point, because at this point, it's just a race back to that spot. But who's going to do their job and make this slant more believable? It's got to be Beasley. It's got to be us from the receiver spot. So I got to be able to drop my hips very quick at the drop of a hat. I got to be able to be here, drop my hips. Now you see his shin angles, right? They're at these 45-degree angle because that's what's going to shoot him out. He's pushing off the inside portion of his foot. He's dropping his hips. He's in an explosive pad level position. And what does that do? Because he did his job with the tempo and committing this thing with his shoulders, it gets this DB to overcommit on this route. And then all we got to do in this situation is pump my arms, accelerate out of the break, and win the race back to the ball in this situation. That's exactly what Beasley does. That's a great job. It's a great job changing speeds on the route. Let's watch it full speed one more time. It's coming off, break to the slant, violent hips, explode out, pump those arms out. Great job by Cole Beasley.
All right, so as you can see, Grant gets into the nitty-gritty details of route running and stuff like that. So personally, I've learned a lot from watching you, Grant, so appreciate everything you do and put out there, man. It's good stuff.
Can I say one thing about that quick?
Problem, man.
Because I couldn't hear it. I was just curious if Grant talked about this. One part of that route I think that's really key that you see a lot of players mess up on is they don't know how to cut. Beasley starts cutting with his inside foot to slow himself down and then plants on his outside. So
yeah.
Flip. And then he comes back out. That's really good awareness for him.
No, and it's just about getting rid of those steps. Because so many guys, especially at a high school level, they'll take 5 steps at the top of the route. And it's just the DB is going to be able to, breaking it down super simple. All the DB has to do is just come out. He's trying to cut steps out of his back pedal too. So it's when you can eliminate steps like that, you're so much faster out of the break. And if you accelerate out like you're supposed to, it's easy because we know where we're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. And it's time.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start with New Mexico State, one of Jerry Jeudy's bigger games here. Well, I guess he had a ton of big games, but yeah, let's get into it here. You guys can't hear the volume, right?
No. Have there been volume this whole time and I just didn't know?
Yeah, dude. The volume from the games plays on the stream.
What?
Yeah.
Never knew this.
I just assumed it's been muted this entire time. So we're talking over announcers?
I have it set pretty low.
Wow. Learn something every day.
It'd be sweet if we just contradicted what they said the entire time.
The entire time we go back and watch, we're like,
oh.
wow, those guys are idiots.
So real quick in the chat, we got lots of people. So Super Flexor is there. Bowen Akana says hello. Troy Kirky, I think that's how it is. It says, I'm here for America's sweetheart. I'm just assuming that's going to be Grant. I guess.
Do my best.
Lord Barrington, good evening, gents. We got Trucker. What's up, Scott?
Rich
Dynasty
is in here. What's
Nerds.
up, Rich?
Yep. Rain Man.
All right, we got a
Silver
slant
Sports.
route here.
Got a lot of guys. So say hi. Hi to everybody. Glad you're here.
The good thing about Jeudy is you can line him up in the slot or the outside.
Yeah, you put him anywhere in the field. I'm thinking this is an RPO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I like about this route is his
Bad
aiming
snap.
point.
Bad
If you
snap.
go back, Jared,
Yeah.
the one thing I like about this is his aiming point on this slant is outside that DB's technique, so he doesn't go in right away. He's not aiming for his inside, so he's keeping that spacing.
I'm going to coach you on that. We don't have to with this receiver group. 2nd and 8, it's Harris. A 3rd and 7. Tua.
I wish he lined up outside more, honestly.
That time New Mexico State able to get there. Now a second.
Sorry, I missed that one. Trying to read the chat.
Now a 2nd and 10.
What's up, man? Down in Dynasty FF's in here.
Now a 2nd and
FF Porkman. So what's up, guys? How do you come up with your name, FF Porkman? That's my first question.
No idea.
Oh, Porkman's my boy. It's a long story. But yeah, there's like a legitimate reason his name's Porkman.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
21. Clean pocket for Tua to the end zone.
All
Touchdown.
right. So what do we got here? Let's run that back to the beginning.
Yeah, I'm hoping they show the replay angle on here.
Picking up the yards needs to convert. The 21.
Let's just
like
fake
he's-
bubble and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him up. Looks like the outside guy runs a post.
All of college football.
That's a ball. Squeeze
Tua
it.
to Jeudy.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like,
good.
I don't know, like,
Robinson picking up the yards needed to convert.
nothing special here, really. I mean, just
Pocket for Tua to
beats
the
him,
end
of course.
zone.
Stutter and go.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Receivers
Yeah.
in all of college football. Tua to
Does
Jeudy.
his physicality
Doubling.
worry you guys at all?
When Jerry Judy's on the field. Watch Ruggs.
Not really. I mean, I think he's gonna get bigger, obviously, but I mean, I'm not really too worried about it just because of how quick he is off the line. Like I just like you see his feet. I think it was against South Carolina, and there's a release where there's a bigger DB who tries to get real physical with him, and how fast his feet are off the line of scrimmage. That it's just like I don't think it's an issue because I know the guy he works with is just it's out of some guy in Florida that works with him, but he's just he's just a technician when it comes to stuff off the line of scrimmage. So I don't think it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
It worries me some though, because it's when he has the ball in his hands, he doesn't break a ton of tackles if there's contact being made. And for his size, I thought there'd be more. But you're right in terms of his feet, and I think he uses his hands well in terms of route running. So I think he's more effective before the ball gets to him, and then after it gets to him, you know, he can be dynamic with making guys miss. But once there's contact, that's where the physicality kind of comes into play.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just thinking physicality off the line, but that's 100%. Yeah, I agree with you.
I like the awareness here. He's trying to let the quarterback know that, hey, this guy's coming.
Everybody in the SEC paying attention after what Georgia State did to Tennessee. Tua,
I missed him a
Your
little bit.
footsteps.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Paying attention.
Yeah.
He one-handed that one.
Get that ball down a little bit. He had a DB in his face.
What Georgia State did to Tennessee.
But he probably could have gotten up for that catch.
I think he could.
Yeah.
I think
Got
he
killed.
heard the safety coming.
That's sketchy over the middle.
Yeah, as a business decision.
His
Man,
draft
look at
stock.
this.
Yeah,
Look
he's
at
like,
this
bro, I'm a
speed
first
route.
rounder. I don't need to catch this.
Look at this speed right here.
I mean,
And he comes back. He works his way back to the football too. Wow, that's a beautiful route.
There was a question I see on here from Mike. He says, "Is he the best runner in this draft?"
Route runner.
100%.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody that I've liked more yet, unless there's some obscure small school guy that I haven't seen. But and he's doing it against the best of the best in the SEC. What he does at the junction points to be able to create separation, he's good.
So I wasn't sure if that was going to Waddle or Jeudy here. I don't think either of them knew either.
Trying to get the ball to Jeudy. Came off. Looking like defensive backfield made a
Take the ball. Fuck.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, he's got leverage out there.
I know. He's just gonna get one-on-one. Just had to give it to our guy.
So right there again, I mean, look, he attacks the outside shoulder of this DB on this RPO. And then you can see, because the DB reacts and takes a step outside, which leaves more room inside there.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Eyes tell lies.
Yeah, there you go.
You got all the verbiage, the little coach terminology.
When you're dealing with 12-year-old kids, you got to think of something.
Yeah, stuff that'll stick with them. You're it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he blocks. I haven't really seen too much film of him blocking. Because I know CeeDee Lamb can block.
CeeDee Lamb's the most physical wide receiver in the draft.
Oh, yeah.
He's just an animal.
That's why what's interesting is people talk about the size of Lamb and Jeudy. They weigh about the same, but one plays way more physical.
Oh, yeah. CeeDee Lamb's he just plays angry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a good look at this one.
All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
That was so subtle.
So break this one down for me, Grant.
Just kind of, let's see here. He kind of gives a little bit like a corner post in a way, like kind of stems this thing to the corner. But the main thing is when he gives his eyes and his shoulders to that post, it doesn't give the DB any choice. The DB's going to be forced to either just open up or speed turn out of there, especially when Judy's going as fast as he does. He just doesn't slow down. Like you see so many receivers at the point of the break where they'll kind of expose their numbers and they'll pick their chest up and they'll slow down. But Judy's full speed and just smooth, and the DB has no choice. He could either open up and be slow or speed turn and just Jeudy will have a bunch of separation. So when you're fast like that in and out of the break, and you could just commit your shoulders, he's gonna get so much space.
Yeah,
and when you stem like that, sorry, Jared. When you stem like that, you don't necessarily need the DB to even move. You need him to freeze or not.
Oh, yeah.
Not, and that's what he did there. He made him just freeze and just back up a little bit, which is still a win for him.
Exactly. Just stop his feet.
That was a tough ask.
Can you back to the start on that one? Watch how explosive he's off the line here.
Yeah, he's no Jalen Reagor off the line, but hey, he's good.
He's explosive here. You see some of that juice here. Look at him just go.
Oh my gosh. Pancake.
So Rich says the most important question is who offers the most fantasy upside? Receptions, yards, TDs. It's who's the best wide receiver, but who can be the most fantasy dominant? Said Eileen Lamb. I think at this point I did too. Yeah.
Right above it, Freddie, you're gonna have to go back and watch our episode on Ruggs and Reagor. I think you're not gonna like it based on that take I see there. But go back and watch it. Tell us if we missed something that you see that we didn't.
And Grant, if you see anything I skip on by, just tell me to go ahead and rewind it.
No, yeah, no, I got you.
I know it's tough with the broadcast angles sometimes.
No, it's all good.
Nick, you get a fresh cut over there?
Yeah, man.
see.
Just trying to give that profile.
New house, new cut.
Appreciate it. Well, no, I'm reading over here. Boomer told me, new house too. Boomer told me about the Acres episode I was talking about. They're asking about the FSU number 6 tight end. We've seen it's Trey McKitty, a recent Georgia transfer. He's got stone hands, so thanks for that info. Answering that question for me, it's
I mean, he's smooth.
Lamb easy in terms of fantasy.
He gets going here quick.
When he just changes direction so fast, when his hips just drop,
Look
it's
at
just
that.
so explosive.
He is explosive.
The one thing that's different between Lamb and Jeudy after the reception is Judy's trying to make everybody miss. Lamb is efficient with his movements. He's not trying to avoid everybody, which doesn't always equal more yards when you make a miss. You need to sometimes just get into small areas and just go.
Yeah. So Lamb is always going forward. I did a breakdown of him like about a week ago, and most of the stuff was just after the catch, and he's always going forward. Everything he does.
Like that would work in high school, right? Like
exactly.
You can always avoid in high school, but
not in the SEC.
Yeah. In the NFL is a whole nother shit.
A whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be going east and west.
That's my Dave Montgomery, just little, told y'all. Don't roll your eyes at me, Garrett. I was right.
You're such a hater. This had nothing to do with Montgomery.
He goes east and west all the time.
You're so
not
mean.
a bad block here.
So
not
mean.
super physical by any means, but
that's a good cut by Brian Robinson. Wow.
Give him the ball. Come on, two.
Going back to Freddie said
There
you can't
we go.
possibly know until they get drafted who has better value. Yes, draft is absolutely part of the equation, but our goal here is to just evaluate the overall skills. We're not necessarily giving our rankings, our final rankings based on this. This is just an opportunity to say what prospects we like their skills better and how that would translate to fantasy. But absolutely, landing spot.
Good hands here.
You want to see those situational blocking, the rundowns. You want to see those situational blocking.
Switching it up on us, huh, Grant?
Yeah, no, because the screen was getting cut out.
Really confident hands here, if you look.
Yeah.
On that last one, I really like that part of it. Just really, I'm going to catch that. And he's already looking at the DB.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's got that. Even though that's outside of his frame,
Yeah, he beats this angle on this guy. He can explode a little better than I thought initially.
He's got juice.
Oh, here we go. This should be good. Nice to block.
All right.
There you go.
See you out
there. You go.
Driving a little bit.
Yeah, keep the feet moving.
I'm sure everybody came here to watch Jeudy block.
I know.
I think it's an easy block, though. DB tried to get outside leverage here. Made it kind of easy for him to wall him off, I think. See, like he moved outside. Just, we'll keep you out.
Yeah.
But still, good block. I mean,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh.
Praising the hands, and I
Was
was
this
trying to move too quick.
That wasn't the greatest throw.
Yeah, a little off.
Look at the ball right now.
That was it.
Yeah, that was a tough catch.
Why is I was gonna say why is Jones in here now, but they're up 45-7. Oh, Waddle.
Now sitting behind, of course,
I like Waddle.
Previous year, certainly the previous 2 seasons.
Rich said I wrote that with my nose. Somebody want to go through some of the questions here?
We're having debates over here about Ruggs and Rager, and they're having fun. They can debate away on that stuff.
I think ball skills wise,
on that.
Rager definitely has more ball skills at the point of attack, and he's definitely shown that over Ruggs. I think they're both similar as far as athletes go.
We mentioned it late, I think, when we first started. But
There he goes, getting forward right there.
Yeah, there's some physicality.
Yeah.
C-Dog Woke asks, does Jeudy need to put some weight on at the next level? We did touch on that a little bit, but Nick, do you want to share a little more with what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, like right here, I mean, he's leg driving through it, but this isn't consistent. I don't know this. Okay, so yes, I think he needs to have more weight on. If you want to look at just in terms of body type, he's a little bit shorter than Lamb, but his legs are longer too, which I think is going to affect his power a little bit more. Um, but I also think he needs to be aggressive like that play where instead of dancing. So I don't know if it's much power, it's as much usage too, but he needs to put a little bit on. I just want him to be more aggressive running through, arm tackles, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see him
agree.
approach that 190 range, 195.
Oh, that's a good route what he just ran. Shit.
Kind of grainy tape here. Probably a Garrett
Same.
video.
You were.
You shut your mouth.
Look at that burst off the line.
Oof.
2 steps. Just like you said,
DB's
inside
on
leg.
the
Well, in that
ground.
case, outside leg. Yeah. 1-2 in and out. It's good.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's those junction points for him that he just creates so much separation.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's really impressive to watch. I don't know that anyone does that better at those points.
You show his head
in
here
this
too.
class.
I mean, I think some of that's balance too, Garrett. I mean, he's able to cut way outside of his frame and not lose footing all the time.
It is
cool.
kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy to see the way that he moves because he has a very unique movement pattern compared to some of the other players. It's awkward to watch at times. You're like, what is that? And it works beautifully, but it's kind of awkward to watch. Something else that I've noticed too, and I think we've talked about it a little bit before, but his stopping ability or his deceleration is really, really unique how well he can do that as well.
Yeah. Well, when you look at like the technique of that too, it's like you look at his hips because like what a lot of people can't do that is because their hips are just so either stiff or they just are not comfortable getting low like that. But when he drops his hips, it's just like it's violent. And when he's violent with his hips like that, it helps you change direction so much faster.
So we'll go back and watch this one from the start, Jared. What I love about this one, stop right here. So this DB is outside leverage of him, and he has to work outside. He takes an inside release to stem to bring this DB inside before he breaks out. Watch how much he comes towards this linebacker. You can see it right here. DB has to turn his hips, and then he busts outside. That's a great route.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's a really good job.
And he's wide up and outside.
Great catch too. He catches it down with the shoelaces.
Superflexer says, why do people keep looking for excuses to knock Jeudy though? And someone says it's that time of year. We have to be critical of everyone. That's what this is. You look for traits and we discuss positives and negatives for every single player.
Whew.
That's what this time of year is, where we're diving deep into film.
Man, his
Dude,
body
he
is
just-
at such a crazy
smooth,
angle.
yeah.
Gets out of that cut and just pumps his arms and gets to the spot.
And this is LSU. This is a team full of first-round defensive backs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so smooth. Gosh. 1, 2, 3. Drop, pivot, drive.
Look at that route. There's no better route runner than Jerry Jeudy in college football.
See now, right there, wouldn't it have been better if he caught that and he just went upfield? He kind of hesitates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes I just wish he's so confident running his routes. I wish he was that confident after the reception.
I could see that, yeah. I would like to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just sit here and rewind plays that I shouldn't rewind because I'm just like habit. It's like I'm like, wait,
Welcome
why
to
am I
watching film,
why
man.
am I rewinding this?
A little bit of
I
a
hope they
flood.
show he runs a post out. I forget. I think it's in like I want to say the second quarter, and it's such a good route.
Oh,
I
Waddle.
hope they
I love
show. I hope
Waddle.
they show it.
Do you like Waddle?
We should
Grant?
have every play here, so it should show it.
I haven't seen too much of his film on Waddle, so I don't. But I'm assuming Alabama had 3 good ones, huh?
Yeah.
They had Jeudy, and then the other one Ruggs, and then Waddle. I haven't really
And
watched too much
Devonta
of
Smith,
Waddle.
too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Sports is asking, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but saw something saying the different way he runs, specifically the stress that it could put on his knees could be putting him at higher risk of injury. I saw something about that. I don't know enough about that to speak on it. It is something to keep in the back of your mind if it's somebody that's actually trained putting that out there. But I don't know enough to speak on that. Do either of you guys know about that?
I saw that Twitter thread. Not my area expertise. I know they compared it to, he runs similar to like Robert Griffin the third. It's like his legs flail. I mean, that's just, I can't really speak on that. So
No,
I think
the one over here
can't predict the injury.
I think this would be interesting to hear what you guys think. Do each of you have an NFL comp for Jerry Jeudy? I'll go first. Sorry, Garrett, this isn't going to be an NFL current player, so I'm not sure if you know who it is, but Torrey Holt. Do you know who Torrey Holt is? That's who reminds me of Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I get that.
Of course I know who Torrey Holt is.
You don't know who Don Beebe is? I don't know how far back you
okay.
go.
Torrey Holt and Don Beebe are not the same. Come on. No, mine, I actually put out a few the other day on Twitter, and mine was Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I think Diggs and Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a comp. I don't do comps.
C-Dog's right. His Nick's weekly Rams comp. You keep doing Rams.
Yeah, I do have Rams.
Dak Stacy. We've had Trey Mason.
Oh man, I'll have to keep that going. Let me think of
talk through this
Lamb.
Release with me here, Grant. What would you call this move?
Just an out-in release. So really, it's more. I think it's more so. He's trying to run his guy off, but I think it's more of just a setup or something previous, and then he runs a hitch off of it, huh?
Yeah, looks like
if you want my running it back.
I think it's an in, don't you? Like we call that a levels concept, Grant.
Oh yeah. That's an in. Yeah, it's just like I gotta flip the camera.
Yeah, I just thought it was a good. I mean, his feet here are really good.
No, yeah, and that's like what I was saying earlier when it came to physicality off the line. That's why I don't think it's an issue. Yeah. Well, at least off the line. At least off the line is what I was saying.
And from what I've seen, his hands are really good at the line too, as far as hand fighting and stuff.
Have we seen a ton of press coverage on him?
I haven't.
I was gonna say I don't think I've seen a lot, and I know that there's not as much of that as there used to be. But I would be interested to see more press coverage and be able to break that down a little bit.
Good job of finding the spot here.
Just for Rain Man, he said Flipper Anderson.
Oh, yes.
Is that too far back? I was thinking Henry Ellard, but yeah, I'm right there with you.
Quarterback
really
loves
Flipper
this.
Anderson or Henry Ellard. That's who my CeeDee Lamb comp is, no matter what. Or Crazy Legs.
Good cut in open space.
Well, let's go that one. That's really far back.
Anytime we talk about old players, I just automatically go, what is it, Y.A. Tittle? That's my old guy for everything.
Dude, ready to range, man.
Okay, Jeudy. I see you getting in there a little bit. You don't like it, I can tell, but you're doing your job.
A buddy of mine, Jared. Do you know Joe Morgan? Did you ever meet Joe Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking with him. I was talking with him the other day. He played wide receiver for the Saints, and he said that there were times in the NFL that the DB would line up across and said, "Don't try too hard. Just put on a good show. I won't fight it. I'll let you block me." Like what? They wanted no part of Nnamdi Asomugha was one of the guys he said that said that to him. Like, just put on a good show. I have no interest in making the tackle. Like, you just don't go too hard.
That's it. This is another alligator arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gets those.
He doesn't like playing with those safeties.
I mean, that's a tough catch, but
no receiver does. But
I mean, just the route here again, just so smooth. Makes it look easy. Holy cow.
Joe Morgan is Stanley Morgan's dad, right? No, I think Stanley Morgan.
No, it's not.
Stanley Morgan Jr., right?
Yeah.
That's not.
Joe Morgan went to Camp McKinley, and
this is the post out I was talking about. Blaze out.
They'll probably show it again here.
Hope they show. Yeah, I hope they show another angle. Yeah, it's so good. Just 1-2 in and out.
The way he gets his whole body to be able to shift that smoothly in just a couple steps.
No, I'll say this, okay? Grant, let me ask you this. I think that's worse cover. That's a good route. That's some bad coverage though. He flipped and committed way too far to the inside.
Exactly.
Quick.
Yeah. It's not the best coverage. Yeah, I agree with you.
Right. It's a good route, but it's like this guy makes it look because that's shitty coverage. Like why? Jeudy doesn't flip both of his hips in, and he's already like
exactly.
Committed,
yeah, exactly. And he didn't even look back for the ball. He just committed his shoulders and his hips. He didn't even give his eyes.
Right.
Good change of direction, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Now, you talked about hips. I mean, there's also like ankle flexion, and strength to make that change of direction too. Do you ever focus on that with receivers?
Yes, I do a little bit of it. Like the most that I really focus on is like I try to get him driving off like that inside arch of their foot, and like you could kind of see that when Jeudy, especially when he makes cuts, like that's where all your explosion comes from. Like you could see it. Like the best example I could give is like when a quarterback throws, like when he's pushing off the back leg, he's pushing off that like inside portion of like the, I wouldn't say on his toes, but not on his heels, just like right in the middle. And that's like where all of his power comes from. And that's what I focus on with my receivers when they make a cut, because that's like where all their explosion comes, but they're not like flat footed, if that makes sense. It's like more so inside arch so they could actually explode out rather than pushing up.
Mm-hmm. The one thing Jared, the one thing I like with Jeudy, he always seems in control of his movements.
Yeah, and great body control. Yeah,
he's just always in control, and you like that. That's confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but Jeudy's soft. He is.
Mm-hmm. He is.
We've seen him alligator arm a couple across the middle. No, it was a tough catch, but still, like you could tell he was thinking about it. And just here, like he wants nothing to do with number 3 here.
Yep. Go ahead.
It's just different because we're gonna watch CeeDee Lamb later, and that he likes it, like he invites it. It's just.
No, I agree, Jared.
It's a lot of mindset when it comes to playing football too. I'm out here calling young kids soft playing football.
No, but it's
old man.
And I know people they're like, oh, well, would you make the play? Like we're evaluating. It's important,
right?
Yeah.
And yes, I would.
There he's blocking.
There you go. Doesn't stick with him.
He's got 2 guys there.
He's better block.
Started good.
I mean, it's just not his strength.
No. Yeah, I wish Najee would have came out.
Mm-hmm.
Good hand fighting here, I think, right? It's hard to see, but
fighting the hands up, or fighting the hands throughout the top, or throughout the stem, I should say. Oh, that's all right.
They need to get the score. You need that one, baby.
Yeah, you need to come down with those plays.
I got so much shit for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because
so?
I made a post about that post out, and then a bunch of LSU fans were just talking all this shit.
Like, oh yeah, what about this play?
Yeah. Like, what about the drop? It's like, kiss my ass.
That has nothing to do with like. It's not like you're like a big Alabama fan or anything. Well, I don't know. No, you might be, but.
No. I like Jeudy.
Yeah. Who are your top 3 receivers in this class?
Probably after watching this a little bit more carefully, probably CeeDee Lamb, then Jeudy, and then I like Rieger.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Those are my top 3 as well.
Yeah.
I think people are a little too high on Ruggs, honestly. A lot of people have him up there too.
It's his speed, right? Isn't he like a 4.2 guy?
Yeah.
Dude, look at this route by Waddle. Oh, he makes 31 fall over. Look at that safety. What are you doing, man?
I mean, he's a 4.2 guy too.
Oh, Waddle's.
He's smoking.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, he's quick.
And he's only a sophomore there.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, he'll be junior next year. True junior.
Oh.
He averaged 24 yards a punt return, Grant.
That's unbelievable. Jesus.
Sick.
Yeah.
Look at that block by Jeudy. Look at him. Just an animal in here. He's fine. He wants to find work. He's just. You're talking about nitpicking there. I'm just going to keep doing it now. Is fantasy production limited by softness? Yes, it is. When you don't want to go over the middle and make receptions, it does. When you don't want to run hard after the reception and break tackles, it limits fantasy production. Yep.
But again, I mean, he definitely has his strengths. He's the best route runner in the class. He creates probably the most separation in the class.
That was
so.
He's got to keep running though.
Yeah. Is he the perfect receiver? No, but is he a separation specialist? For sure.
Did he get jacked up by the ref here? What? I'm confused as to what happened.
I think it was holding. I think he held him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he grabbed his right arm.
Yeah.
Well, this is a little physicality here. You know what I mean?
Hey,
yeah. Oh yeah, he did. He got that wrist.
I mean, Grant here.
Release was clean though.
Grant, he's got to get his hands off him, right?
Yeah. At this point, he wants to. I would like to see his right arm just ripping up and just trying to get that offhand off. And then at least when he gets to the top here, it'll be a little bit more space when he makes it that just cut to the right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just when he's taught it to just try to get as physical as you can, especially with a guy who's probably, again, not as big as Jeudy, who needs to put on some size. So they're already going to try to be physical. So it's just I would like to see his hands work more throughout the stem of the route.
Can we go back again? I just want to get your take on this, Grant. So when he comes in, it's almost like a dig, like a short dig or a slant, whatever. Is he affected by this ref based on when he's supposed to come across the middle? I mean, I would think he would want to come parallel, right?
Yeah. So are you saying, like, is the ref kind of screwing up the route, or did he run into the ref?
Right. Like this is he. I mean, he shouldn't be coming angle. He should be coming straight across the field, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking he should square it up, but yeah, I think he should square it up. I think he kind of covered himself with the ref. I don't think it was the ref's fault.
No, I think he either cuts in front of this ref or behind, but he just
exactly.
Kind of land. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a post break on. It's like a post. Yeah, like almost a post break on a dig, which isn't. That's not good.
Rich calling Jeudy a divorce lawyer, separation specialist.
Yeah.
All
right.
So someone else says Lamb didn't look spectacular against LSU's DBs either. We'll see that.
We'll see. We got it on the docket.
Yeah, we'll do that one. Jeudy's most optimal realistic landing spot. What do you guys think? What would you be excited for
most optimal?
Yeah.
Isn't the default answer always Kansas City?
What about Green Bay?
Is that realistic though? I mean, they're at 30.
It's not.
I don't think you can. Arizona at 8.
Maybe the Jets.
Yeah.
Are you saying no for not optimal, or are you saying no for not realistic?
To me, I mean, color me
not
wrong,
realistic.
But I don't know why Arizona they've invested in receiver.
They have.
If they go high again, I don't know if it makes sense.
But with that offense, I mean,
I could see
they're
Philly
gonna want their
possibly.
Guys.
I think he could fit in that, especially because he's so utilizing screens, bubble screens, getting him in motion. I think that would fit with Kingsbury's offense.
Yeah.
Especially gets the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands faster.
Mm-hmm. I'd say the most likely period would be Jets, Raiders. Trying to think who else.
What about
is
go
Colts? I could see that. That would be a tiny bit of a fall for him, but I could absolutely see it. I think he's pretty much a lock for top 15, right? We'd be pretty surprised if he fell out of the top 15.
Man, they running the ball.
But after what Mel Kiper said, I mean, there's gonna be 84 receivers in the first 3 rounds. So
I thought it was crazy when not crazy because I agreed when Matt Miller said 20 in the first 3 rounds, but when Kiper is saying 30 in the first 3 rounds.
Ooh, look at this route. Oh, how sexy is this route?
It is. Texas
DB
outside.
opens his hips a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotta come up with that though.
Yeah.
Does he tip it or does he drop it?
I think he.
If I remember right, I think this was a drop because he comes back on, I believe, on the same drive, makes a touchdown.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta catch that.
So he sort of redeems himself, but we see like
Catching
there's
traffic is
some
a question.
issues. Yeah, like those contested catches, especially stuff over the middle where he's heard footsteps, like that is the tape has been good, but that is for sure concerning. And yeah, that was right through his arms.
Why doesn't he use his hands on that one? Why is he trying to
I don't know.
I love how the DB is like
Celebrating.
he had anything to do with it.
Don't you love DBs like that?
I know, right?
God, I hate DBs.
It's
Comes
an
back.
overthrow.
Redeems himself.
This was a very good catch though.
Yeah, and he did a good job of working back to the ball here.
Yeah, closing the gap with the DB.
He kind of uses his body to shield a little bit.
I was just gonna say that. Yep. Look at Rich and I in sync. Man, it's like we do a podcast together or something.
So Grant, tell me about this route.
So here he's really just like we were talking about earlier, just trying to get DB's feet to stop. And you can see how when he closes the gap with him and starts attacking really the midline of his body, it gets his feet flat. Mm-hmm. And then all he has to do is make a cut and do his job of accelerating off the break. And he's got like 20 yards to work. So that's easy money for him, especially if he's a little bit inside leverage. If we could just get his feet to stop, it's just, and all we got to do is accelerate off that break and just be quick with the cut.
Yeah, he did it. He kind of slid up there to kind of shield the defender. You guys are right.
Wow, got headbutted there.
Uh-oh. He was gone, by the way. That's a touchdown.
Yep.
All right. So last thoughts before we slip on over to CeeDee Lamb.
Are we slipping on over there?
The divorce
slipping on over.
specialist.
That's 2 games, right?
Yeah. That was 2 games. Yeah, takeaways. Go ahead, Nick.
Softer than I thought. He's just got great feet. He just moves so well under control. I wish he was more confident after the reception. Yeah, and I thought he'd be more of a hands catcher too. He was doing a little bit more body there than I liked.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I kind of came into this. My question marks were Jeudy, where what was his physicality, and that kind of proved me right there. I still think he's one of the best prospects in this class. Like, nobody can separate like this dude does. He gets off the line like nobody else in this class. So the separation is huge. I just worry a little bit about just the mentality and mindset of, I don't know, just being a physical football player, just being a football player. It's just little things that come up when I watch him that make me question that. But
I do, on the positive side of things, you have to take into account and appreciate the work that this guy's put in to be a technician. And that shows me that he is willing to be disciplined, put the time, put the work. And I do think a lot of that is going to translate to the next level. And he does some things that you just can't teach. I mean, he's got very good speed. I'm assuming he's going to run in probably the upper 4.3s, I'm guessing. Worst case scenario, low 4.4s, which is great speed. And his movement set is a thing to watch. So he's still pretty firmly my wide receiver too. But it's CeeDee Lamb, then a small tier, then Jeudy, small tier, then there's like 4 or 5 more guys.
Final thoughts, Grant?
You guys pretty much covered what I was gonna like. Just to sum up, I think he needs to be a little bit more physical after the catch, like Nick was saying, and just really just focus on going forward, because a lot of the stuff that he does after the catch at the next level is not going to be. It's not going to be as easy for him, right? It's easy when you're playing New Mexico State to make guys miss, but when you're playing the best guys in the world every single Sunday. But again, on the positive side as well, is just his route running is. I think he could be, upon entering the league, a top 10 route runner. So I think if he just plays with strength and he gets in the right system, I think he's going to put up good numbers.
Yep, I agree. And I just want to echo again, check out Grant's channel. It's First Down Training. Ton of good information on there. He just breaks down the intricacies. Like everybody in here right now, they're in here to watch tape with us and break down how to watch tape and what we look at when we're watching these guys. And if you want to learn and actually like learn just the intricacies, the finer points, like Grant does that. He breaks it down better than anybody on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And we're very happy that you're on here with us, Grant. So my question to you, like, what are like the top 3 things you're looking for when you're like watching a wide receiver as far as like route running goes? Like, what would you say are the top 3 things that you like somebody in here is new to watching film? What should they be looking for?
I would say body control, just being able to change direction at just the drop of a dime. Because when you look at, I would say body control and then the ability to push vertical and make all your routes at some point. Not talking about changing the speed, which we could get into later, but making all your routes look the same at a certain point, making everything look like a fade, body control, and just being able to create the separation off the line of scrimmage. I think those are the 3 things that you look at the most elite guys, no matter the size. Like you get a guy from Julio Jones to Julian Edelman. Those are the things that they have in common from what I've looked at.
Yeah, making all the routes looking the same, and as far as like hand fighting and releases with your footwork and stuff off the line of scrimmage, like that's where you create your initial separation.
One way I describe.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, one way I describe it, Grant, it's similar to what you did, is I call them Hollywood actors. They're trying to sell something different to DBs than they think is going to come. And and by changing speeds, by angles, by head movements, they all do it differently, but they all have to be successful in how they do it.
Exactly right. I think honestly another thing is just not having, I call it really an indicator, because like you said, you got to be an actor, right? So a big thing that I work on with my guys is the little tells that you give before you're about to make a break, before you're about to make a cut or come in and out of a break. It's like, picking your chest up or picking your chin up right before you come down and do a break. I think those little things are, especially with Jeudy, I don't see any of those things. I think he's just, like we were saying, just everything's smooth, everything's explosive.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's get into some CeeDee Lamb here. We got CeeDee Lamb versus Iowa State to start it off. Let me turn this volume up a little bit here for these guys. You want to talk about a physical wide receiver? This is your guy. He's just a dog.
See, what I like here, if you go back to the start,
that's great.
People talk about his athleticism. Watch him burst off the line here. He's the first one off. Look how he's vertical right away. Are we worried about his speed? Really? Like, that's what you need right there. You need burst.
Goes up strong.
Yeah.
And that's so difficult to make that catch when the DB's fingertips are right there, blocking your view even of the ball at one point, possibly, to still be able to take that in around 3 defenders. And then to have enough awareness to realize where he was on the field and be able to turn up and get in the end zone there. That's just knowing where you're at and being able to make plays.
Well, and he had to move. He was thrown behind him. He had to turn all the way around.
Yeah, and protect the ball, too. That's what triple coverage, too. It freaking hurts.
Yeah.
Not a fan. You want to talk about a late processor of information? That's Jalen Hurts. He needs to be quicker with his process.
Yeah, he would sit back there for hours. Oh, this should be good.
Yeah, after the catch.
So we talk about aggressiveness.
Oh, yeah,
Can you go back
forward.
But he catches it. He knows exactly where he's going to run. He has a plan before he catches this. I know where I'm going to attack. Like, that's amazing.
As soon as he makes that guy miss, too, he's getting north and south.
And he knows exactly where I'm going.
It's good. Plays
and
angry.
That's not athleticism. That's just aggressive.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not really worried about CeeDee Lamb's speed, Nick. I think he's one of those guys that runs with pace, and he sells his routes a lot with good pace, I think. I don't think he's going to run in the 4.4s, but I could definitely see 4.5, and it doesn't worry me.
Are you guys playing Lamb versus LSU? Yes, that will be the next game.
Yeah, we watching Lamb versus LSU next. Sorry, just repeat what you said.
You said it so much better, Jared.
Yeah, I just had to reinforce that.
Garrett, can you answer that question for everybody? They haven't heard it yet.
Which one?
The one about are we playing Lamb
make
versus
fun of me.
LSU?
Oh, yeah. So
Ooh.
I think after this, since we had LSU for Jeudy, I think we'll do that for Lamb too. So that way, we can see both.
All right, Grant. Talk us through this release here. I can ducks that shoulder down.
Yeah, it works up. You just give a quick jab inside. I would like. Doesn't have too much space on the sideline.
It's a stop route, though, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I'd rather him have more room.
If I could get the DB just a little bit more inside, I would like that a little bit more. Because it's tough with the alignment on the field, obviously. I'm not trying to knock him on that.
I feel like that's a pretty savvy move, though. I mean, for a younger guy in college to dip his shoulder like that to kind of avoid the hands of the DB.
Oh, yeah. And you see a guy who I would compare him to, I know we're not to that part yet, but DeAndre Hopkins, and you see him dip that shoulder all the time.
Yeah, I see a lot of people comparing him to DeAndre. Ooh, that should have been 6 the other way.
Yeah. Good route, though.
Again, Hurts. Dropped the mic, I think. He dropped it back.
Yeah.
That's a tough read.
See, he gets off the ball so quick here.
Yep.
He actually gets.
That was a circus route. Do you call it a circus route, Grant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even get knocked off his route. I know we're talking about him being, underweight, but run that back. I mean, he gets shoved, doesn't even phase him.
Mm-hmm. That's why, I feel like he plays like he's 210, 215.
Yeah,
he plays much better.
He's got some sticky hands.
Wait, did he catch this?
Yeah.
Oh, he had a deflection. Oh, what?
He tries to score too. It's funny. He's like, I'm out.
That's aggressiveness.
Yeah, it's great concentration.
I still love that play, Texas, where there was those 4 guys and he still scored. I know it was terrible defense by Texas.
Oh, Texas, yeah.
So I think what I love about Lamb and why he's number 1 for me is I think his floor, what you're getting with him. His floor is so high. I don't think there's much room for failure with him.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing that worries me with Jeudy, we love his route running and stuff, but he doesn't have another ace in his hole besides that. He doesn't win above the rim. His after the reception, he can make guys miss, but again, he tries to avoid. He's not overly physical. You know what I mean? He doesn't have those boxes that Lamb checks. Where, if we look at Brandon Cooks, right? I know he has injuries now, but he started to kind of falter and not be elite because teams could press him and he couldn't get off the line of scrimmage. And so, but we didn't know that coming out. We thought he was this amazing prospect. And it's he needed something else in his repertoire. And that's what I'm afraid of with Jeudy. That's kind of what you're talking about, Garrett. He is not as high of a floor.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, and this is a little bit narrative driven, but I do think it's worth.
Man,
let's wait for this play there. I'll talk about it. Too good.
Hands catch.
Forward miss.
He just sees a bigger play and he's just going for it. I love it.
Yeah, he's just a playmaker.
Oh. Cuts inside to score. Oh.
Puts his head down.
Sexy. That whole play.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna replay it. I'll let it run.
Do we want to take into account at all that for the most part, week in, week out, CeeDee was going against Big 12 DBs and Jeudy was going against SEC DBs. Does that play a role at all in this for you? Or is it just, you know what, he did the best against the competition that he could. I'm not going to worry too much about it.
I mean, it's definitely a discussion.
What do you think, Grant?
I think I think that plays a factor personally, because I think the space that Judy's able to get against a higher caliber of a DB. I mean, when you look at it, it's more space than CeeDee Lamb's get. When you're thinking about it, just route running, when you're breaking it down, just route running wise, he's getting more space than CeeDee Lamb was against Big 12 DBs. So I'm curious to see the film on him versus LSU. I really haven't. I really haven't watched that, so it'll be interesting for me to see.
I'm gonna whip out the blue light glasses here, guys.
I mean, to me, I don't think it matters because I don't see Jeudy playing some other team being super physical out of nowhere or high pointing the ball out of nowhere. Like, he's not doing those other things. I agree with you. He's getting the separation against some of the best guys, which is great. But we already knew he could do that. I wanted to see him do other things that he's not cutting all the way across the field like Lamb was doing. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And if anything, I don't think it would knock Jeudy at all. It's just, would it lower CeeDee closer to where Judy's at? Because, I mean, Jeudy, we know roughly, I mean, that's the closest thing to NFL DBs that we're going to get in the college level. Whereas, you know, Lamb, we're not quite sure. So it wouldn't, I don't think it would necessarily take anything away from Jeudy. It's just, would it put them, CeeDee slightly lower and Jeudy with him closer? Or, you know, would you still have it pretty far separated? I still have them in separate tiers, very narrowly, but I do have them in separate tiers.
It's a great route that he just ran. Yeah, no indicator. Everything's vertical. Gets the DB in back pedal.
He kind of aimed a little inside to leave himself room too.
Yep. I love that route. Hurts needs to get him the freaking ball.
No wasted steps either.
Man, that'd have been good. I think, it's a tough catch too.
Yeah.
Not a bad throw though. Not bad.
Oh, he got held. He was getting pulled.
Yeah.
He
still should have caught it.
Yeah, he should have caught it. At least he went up for it. Jeudy ain't going for that.
And like, he usually will make that catch, whereas with Jeudy, I wouldn't expect him to make that catch. They're two different receivers too. Different types.
Sure.
How fast do you expect him to run at the combine?
4.55.
I think he's going to surprise people. I think he's going to run a little bit faster than we expect. I'm going to say he dips at a 4.49.
They said, what a 4.6 hurt him. To me, it doesn't matter. Like, you watch him, you see the speed. It's not like he's going to be De'Runny Wilson and run like a 4.8. You know, like, that would be the only thing that would drop him like a rock.
Yeah. He is who he is. I don't really get into the 40-yard dashes too much unless it's like a crazy outlier, you know, like Elijah Holyfield ran a 4.8 or whatever he did.
Yeah, little Jordan Humphrey killed himself last year because of that. But we talked about it on here. The combine doesn't, for the most part, shouldn't really be elevating too many people. It's really just an opportunity to exclude some people.
Can you go back here?
Look at this
go back to the start.
2 blocks. I'm sorry. Is this the right play? Okay.
The next play after this. Grant, can you tell that this next play is a run? Look how wide he is. He's 2 yards from the sideline.
Yeah, what do you think?
I love those. We do those in high school all the time. Get wider, wider. In the corners, like over the top, like what are you?
Yeah, they still come out and cover you.
Yeah, Grant knows that's how he does high school.
Yeah.
Like, it's the funniest thing ever. It's a run.
Watch, he blocks 2 guys on this play.
Oh, then he flexes, right?
You gotta love that.
Oh, Brooks.
Kennedy Brooks did the opie-dope.
Little Lamar Jackson in high school.
And then you got to stop at the goal line or walk in.
Yeah.
I know, that video is so sick.
There he is again.
Yep.
Oh.
Tuck that ball, young man.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
that's all that aggressiveness. Love it.
Yeah, but he's always soon as he gets the ball, man, he's going.
So in terms of a comp, guys, I'm thinking Azar Akeem, right? I mean, keep the Ram thing going.
You did mention Brandon Cooks just a little bit ago too. Was that even intentional?
No, I'm
You
not
just
even messing with
secretly
it
love
anymore.
the Rams.
Dude, I don't even know who D. Runya Wilson is.
Ricky Prohl, can I bring him out?
Oh my gosh, man.
Dude, this
I don't
he's
know
so
what to do with
Ricky
you.
Prohl.
I
here.
really don't know what to do with you. Pretty soon he's going to be running out of skill position players and just like you remember James Laurinaitis? He's got a little James Laurinaitis.
Rich says the only thing that would get Lamb lower than Jeudy is a game of limbo.
Oh man. But for real, what is your comp here? Mine is Devontae Adams.
I like that.
That was mine as well. Yep, that was mine as well. What about you, Jared?
So mine's a bit different.
I remember yours. Yeah, yours is interesting.
I don't know, man. He reminds me of Jarvis Landry. I know a little bit different as far as like body type and stuff, but they remind me a lot of each other after the catch. Their physicality. I don't think Lamb goes up above the rim like a lot of people say he does and plays above the rim as much. I just think that he's a good route runner, good after the catch, physical player. That's why I comp him to Landry.
Yeah, I get it. I mean that wouldn't be my comp, but for the reasons you're saying, I understand it.
Yeah,
Right.
and Lamb's not the fastest guy. He's definitely faster than Landry, but that plays into it a little bit as well.
He's faster than Adams too, in my opinion. Adams is like a 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I like the Adams comp too.
Well, there's something after the catch.
Is your Grant thinking Hopkins?
Yeah. Hopkins. Yeah. I like Adams. I like that comparison. I think you know what you're gonna get with him too.
Ooh, look at that
Dude,
double
he
block.
just wants it. He just wants
Look at
to
his
knock
block
your
on
shit out.
safety.
Come here, little boy.
I like that. You don't see Jeudy doing that against
No.
LSU.
Like he wants to hit you.
Jeudy would yell, "Watch out!"
Dude, he's a Texas high school legend too, CeeDee Lamb.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where he went.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
Ooh,
I forget
where
how many
physicality
touchdowns he
comes from.
scored in high school, but
God, he has all day.
yeah, he does.
well, it's
That's
also nice here.
incomplete.
CD's in the slot a little bit too, so versatile.
Yeah.
Oh, Isaac Bruce. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that one for another day.
So anything here, guys? I mean, just this over route.
Yeah, but I like how he squared that off.
Yeah, keeps working with the quarterback.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, like what you want to look for. He definitely makes everything look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, like, if it's not the first read, it's not happening. Like, it's
Run
always the
around.
first guy.
And like everyone was saying early in the year when he was putting up all these numbers in college football, like, oh, Lamar Jackson paved the way. But like, dude, there's only one Lamar Jackson. Like, he's not Lamar Jackson.
And
Not
Lamar
even
numbers are gonna
close.
regress next year too.
Hurts isn't gonna do anything in the NFL.
Here you go.
You heard it here.
Separation, a late push off here, body control, tracking.
Love it.
Unbelievable play.
Late hands.
Yep.
Not going up too early.
I'm sure they'll show it again here. Man, he
I
tracks the ball and he can catch it in traffic, dude. He's gonna make plays for you.
I love that you mentioned the late hands there. That was something. Now, granted, it hasn't panned out at all for me yet, but that was something that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside did really, really well in college. Was those late hands? And you want to see that out of a guy that's going to be a contested catch guy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Can you go back here? I don't know if
Devontae
this-
Adams is
All the
great
way?
at that too.
Yeah, just stop here. So one thing that's interesting here. So when he gets vertical, he gets past this DB, he looks for the ball, and then doesn't, then puts his head forward to get more speed, runs, dips into the DB, then locates again. Watch this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
Ball
It's
tracking.
absurd concentration.
confidence.
Yeah, I know. He's got a lot of confidence in the ball, man.
Like that's insane. Like knowing the ball's going to be in there is like, nope, I have to run faster and dip into this DB.
And
Or
like,
I'm not going to get it.
does
Yeah.
he purposely roll over here to protect the football then at the end, just to finish it off?
Yeah, I think a lot of wide receivers do that now.
Yeah,
So that way the ball doesn't get jarred loose.
I mean, is that something you coach your wide receivers to do?
Not really. Honestly, no.
No.
I don't. Yeah, I honestly I don't really coach that, but maybe I should.
I feel like
'Cause
that's
that's
like
like-
next
'cause it-
level, maybe. You know, like what level?
Yeah,
are
no,
you
yeah,
coaching?
but just high school right now. But
Yeah.
no, I could definitely incorporate that.
Because they don't have enough to work on, right?
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you probably just getting the important stuff out of the way first.
Yeah, it's detail. There's detail, but I like details good.
Which foot's
You
on
don't-
the line, which one's off the line. That's a big thing for me. Be consistent.
God, you don't see Jeudy doing that against LSU's corners.
No. Wide receivers blocking, man. They spring those big plays. Wide receivers blocking downfield.
God, he loves running around back there. Shit.
If you go, I mean, this is 2 plays ago, but I mean, he worked his way outside. It's that play, just the start of it. Watch him walk outside, then come inside of that DB. See right there?
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell, like he widened them.
Widens
There's a plan to be successful. The DB turned his hips, and boom, he's inside. I don't know where I can see the end of it, but
Yeah, Silver Sports says he got 2,000 plus yards and 33 touchdowns as a senior.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
33 touchdowns. That's an incredible career.
The
Right?
Yeah.
That's more than I
Quarterback
threw my senior
34.
year.
I was wondering what they're doing here. They got trips into the boundary. I'm like, what is this? And it's a trick play. That makes sense.
Trick or creation.
Look at him. Then he blocks it after he pitches it.
I know, man. He's a football player.
Oh.
Like my coach in high school used to always say, "Be a football player." It took me a while to figure out what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, "Coach, I'm playing football. Like, what do you mean?"
I
Like,
signed my waiver. Does that count?
yeah.
Jared, I want you to hand the ball off and then go block somebody.
No, they didn't want me doing that.
So guys, tell me if I'm a little bit crazy, because we've mentioned it several times with both of these players and their weight. I don't think CeeDee looks as lean and slight as Jeudy does. Is that just me? I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that plays into the physicality thing we've been talking about. It's just he plays bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that play right there. And sorry, I'll answer your question in a second, Garrett. But he caught it, immediately spun to get away from that DB, and then got caught from behind. But that guy was already running. He had to start running, which talks to some of his explosiveness. I think he's 200 pounds, and that's good enough for me.
What is his official weight right now? Well, I guess we'll find out in a week. But
195,
Yeah, and say we're about to find out.
What I think he's going to do, and some other ones, he's
hard.
going to bulk up,
wish we had the all 22, man.
and then he's not going to run, and then he'll run at his pro day.
And then I'll run at his pro day. Yeah, makes
Time
sense.
to get way down.
Benjamin needs to do that too.
You know,
We didn't get to
He's
see
so
the route
slow.
too much there, but looked like he had a lot of separation.
utter
Ah,
disrespect to T.
Did he
Higgins.
drop it?
I don't know if it hit his hands or not. Great route though.
Yeah, off the line. Get him bite on that third step. Yeah, you gotta have that.
Come on, Hurts. He's wide open, bro. I could have hit that.
Put me in, coach.
I mean, look at
I mean-
that, dude.
Jared, to be honest,
He
you're probably a
is.
better passer than Hurts is.
Yeah,
That's probably
I mean,
true.
I guarantee
Out
you
of shape
I was.
at the age of 30, you probably are still.
He's got his guards sitting in his lap, though. What's he doing?
Yeah, he really is all up in him.
It's a good route. Widens the DB.
Yeah,
that
that
great
third,
route.
yeah.
I think Jalen Hurts' feet were not set, and that's why he didn't make an accurate throw. That should be an easy
God
throw.
dang, gotta have that.
Sets his feet.
Much improved thrower this year, 71.8% completion percentage coming in.
DJ Jeudy asks, who is leaner, Higgins or Lamb? I don't know. That's a
I
good
think
question.
Lamb is leaner.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe by a tad. But both. We don't have any of those like guys that look like Julio. And granted,
look
not
at
many
that.
people do.
That's a good
A
block.
crack block?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Boom.
Yeah.
I mean,
these are
it
much
depends. I mean,
more, go ahead.
is Lamb 6'2" and is Higgins 6'4"? That's going to matter.
6'4". Yeah.
You know, that's what we think. But
They
that'll matter.
they all seem to have more of the AJ Green body types than they do the Julio Jones.
Rich asks, if you need a wide receiver, are you okay going with Lamb 101?
Yep.
I am. I think you know what you're getting, and I don't think there's much room for failure.
I am always value based, best player available, and I still think the running backs are the best players available. So I would still be going Swift or Dobbins, and then you make a trade. You either trade out of that 1-1 if you really want Lamb, or you make a trade after the draft. But
Yeah, and talk to me after the draft. We know where these guys are at.
but yeah, I'm still going Lamb I'm still going Dobbins or Swift.
Now that's with the thought process that you can trade for a receiver later, right?
You could even trade on draft day if you're like, you know what, I think CeeDee will be there at 2 or 3. I'll trade back a couple picks. There'll be no shortage of people that want to jump up and get those running backs.
Come on, Hurts.
And if not, just take the best player available. I'm always to a fault best player available.
Yes.
We got a couple minutes left in this game here. I'd love to see him come down with that.
Is that Fulton that's on him there?
Yeah. I'm not a huge on Fulton. I know he's projected first round, right?
Yep.
It's a good play there, though.
Another angle.
Yeah, good defense.
This is Stingley.
Who's a beast.
Yeah, he's going to be really good. He already is really good.
I know.
And he will continue to get better.
Ooh, little whip
It's a
route.
good route. Getting forward.
See, I just like that fight a little bit. I mean, this game's over. He's just like, screw you. Stiff
Yeah.
arm to the face mask. Not as good of a whip route as Beasley, though.
Yeah, but he gets his chin down there.
Yeah, 2 steps, 1, 2. No indicator either. He doesn't slow his speed on the slant. There's a good angle. Nothing, just riding on a dime. That's such good body control. I don't think he gets enough credit for his routes.
Yeah. They don't look as sexy as Jeudy's.
Yeah, he's not as explosive, but I think he still gets it done.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I mean, he wouldn't be where he is if he didn't get it done.
He had ridiculous stats this year. Did he win the Biletnikoff?
No, Jamar Chase did. But did he win it the year before?
No, the Jeudy.
One of the year before.
Jeudy did, yeah. Yeah, Chase had 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns.
I think he's overrated.
You do?
Yeah.
I
People
don't.
think he's the next
think
whatever.
he's a
But
stud.
LSU schemed. I mean, Jefferson was unbelievable, too. What makes Chase way better then?
Chase is way better than Jefferson.
Great scheme here.
You see rewind it to that last one? You see this release that he works? The one right after this one, I think. So you said he kind of gives him that slide and then kicks up into second gear and takes him outside. He's open right there. If Hurts gets his ball out right now, well, you got the safety over the top, but let's say it was man.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time they've been working, he's been blocking or he's been, just in charge of running this guy off. He's been working this slide release.
Yeah.
And it finally got this DB to stay inside, right? That's how it shows everything's just a setup that he does. He's pretty strategic with what he does off the line because he's been baiting him. And finally that DB's just sitting inside because he doesn't want to get beat obviously on like a slant or just letting him cross his face. And then he finally takes it up vertical. It shows that he's got, like you said, he's got a plan.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that just kind of goes to show you how every single play matters, and every single play you're setting the guy up for the next one. Like sometimes guys will, just because it's a run, they're not going full go.
Exactly, there's jog or just half-ass it. It's not good for the home team.
No, that's rare. He's had a couple drops in this game.
He has. This is the difference that I see, though. Whoops, as I bumped my mic. This seems to be a concentration drop to me. I think he was already looking upfield, trying to think about what he was doing next, whereas most of Jeudy's were footsteps. And that seems to be the difference for me. I'm not saying concentration drops are like, oh yeah, they're fine, don't worry about it. But I do think it's I do think it's a difference.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, just looking up too soon.
Yep. All right, well that wraps it up for these two guys. Final thoughts on Lamb.
Lamb 1, Jeudy 2.
I agree. I mean, Lamb is who we thought he is. Not really concerned with his athleticism, like some people like to bring up. He's just a dog, dude. He's my wide receiver 1 still, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think going into this, I had Jeudy a little bit higher, but after watching, because CeeDee Lamb, I haven't really broken down as detailed as we did and really watch what other than when, like the plays where he doesn't have the ball and where he's just blocking and him just always having a plan. CeeDee Lamb is, I think, a clear number 1.
Yeah. Let's see here. I don't know if you've been in our film room yet, Grant, but we have like all these different prospects for the upcoming rookie class and some for next year too. Just like what we just watched, like every play that they're involved in.
Oh wow!
Just broken down in here. But yeah, you can hit me up afterwards. We'll get you in here if you need some more games. Anybody have questions while we have Grant here on the call, just as far as like breaking down guys and what to watch for, or who his top 20 are? I'm just kidding.
20.
Oh my God.
What to do next?
I think that was on the drop.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he was talking about.
Let's see, we got any questions in here?
I think we've gotten to most of them.
Nick, who are your top 5 wide receivers right now? Pre-combine.
Lamb, Higgins, Jeudy, Rager. 5 would be tough. Probably Visca.
Yeah. I think I got Bryan Edwards there at 5 right now. I know you're not a big fan. I can't wait to do one of him.
Oh, I love Bryan Edwards. Are Nick and I going to get to argue again?
I think Visca and Bryan Edwards would be a good one to do.
It's been a few weeks. We've agreed too much these past couple weeks, so
we might have to do running backs again though.
What's nice is when you do 2 and then you can compare them together, and it's kind of it makes it easier. Like we did Edwards, Hilaire, and Akers. It's like, oh, boom. When we did Rager and Ruggs. That's why this is fun. So I'm glad people enjoy it. Daniel Jones or Tua Herbert? Tua Herbert, then Daniel Jones for me. Oh, I'm sorry. Tua, Daniel Jones, then Herbert for me. Sorry. Where do you guys rank them?
Daniel Jones.
As of right now, the same.
I'd rank Daniel Jones above both of those guys right now. Just
Look at that face.
What about
You
Tua,
wounded
man?
him
I mean, dude,
to
he's
his core.
He's a starter already. He's producing. Like I like Daniel Jones as a fantasy producer. I mean, he gives you that rushing floor too. It's underrated. I don't have a problem with Daniel Jones. I think he's going to be a sneaky good quarterback this year.
You don't like Tua?
I do like Tua, but he hasn't played in the NFL yet. So,
Well, that doesn't mean that Andre Allison for the Atlanta Falcons is better than DeAndre Swift because he played in the NFL.
that's all right.
Yes, it does. And pick a Ram, Nick. Stay in your lane.
Oh, sorry. Malcolm Brown versus Jonathan Taylor.
But yeah, just going through Grant's channel here, showing you what kind of.
Really, Tyler?
Oh, I see you with the graphics here, Grant. I like them.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah.
The freest thing I could find.
Oh, Hopkins' best routes. That has to be a sexy one right there.
Hopkins' best routes.
Oh,
Which one?
Is that one fun?
Yeah, you're cursing.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're bringing down DeAndre Hopkins in
But,
2020.
what was I
Oh,
gonna say?
stacked him? Oh, he stacked him.
He
That's
ran
just,
this
you can't
past
stop
year.
that.
I think his route running was the most underrated aspects of his game. Everybody loves to talk about the hands, physicality, but today we're going to talk
There were a
about his
couple
routes and
other
how he gets
questions that
open. Guys,
we
if you're a
we haven't.
receiver and you wanna
Rich
learn
asked,
about
Grant, is there
football
a
IQ,
mid-round
how to
wide
understand
receiver guy that you
defenses, how to
love?
read coverages, when
Oh,
you can
man,
use these
jeez.
moves, right? Everybody can learn the technique, but when time, check out that link in the
That's a
description.
tough question.
Get signed up on my website.
Because I don't know nearly as much as you guys do about the whole like all the receivers coming out this year.
Sure.
Honestly, so
Your focus is more on the technique and breaking down the film as opposed to, yep.
exactly,
Totally
yeah, so, yeah. Because I don't want to try to speak on something that I'm not
No, I
positive
respect
on or
that
you know
completely,
about.
dude.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
No, I respect that though, man. Like, I think people need to be doing that stuff more often. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you know more about technique than we do. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, hey, what do you like? This is awesome right here.
What do you use to break these guys down? Like what software?
It's called Huddle Technique. So like it's like the same software that like high schools use
Like
for
Huddle?
film. Like I'm sure you,
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you get, but it's like the technique. It's like a branch off of it called Technique.
Interesting.
Dude, this is a great matchup. White is a great corner.
Yep. Another question. Any Ayuk hype? Seems like it lasted a good week on Twitter. Anybody in here?
See, I think
Brandon Ayuk
he had like some sort of special deal with the Senior Bowl. The guy who was running it, what was his name? You know who runs the Senior Bowl?
Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
Nagy.
Nagy. Yeah,
Jim Nagy.
He had like this special contract with Jim Nagy where Jim Nagy was gonna tweet out a bunch of positive things on Ayuk if he came to the Senior Bowl. Because everything he said I just like disagreed with. But anyway, I haven't really broke down Ayuk enough to give a full eval on him. But
I know I need to get to him, but yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Well, what White should have kept his hips closed here, right, Grant?
On which off the release?
Yep. He opens his hips right there. If you would keep them closed.
Yeah, if he just shuffles with them, that's a way to stop it. It's just, I think, because Hopkins, he's so quick with his upper half, and White is looking at his hips. Well, really, he's looking at his numbers, and then he transitions to the hips. So this is what I tell my guys, and what I see in this is he's so violent with his upper half that it's almost forcing a reaction out of White. But how you can stop it is just by shuffling, keeping his feet moving, because he stops his feet again.
And then he widens right there. Like, that's just dirty because he knows White has to widen.
Yeah.
Then he stacks him. And this is how he wins without running a 4-4, everybody.
Exactly.
It's just technique.
He just won't drop anything either.
Grant, you are such a coach too on your videos, man. Like you just talk like a coach. Like I'm sitting in the coach's office, like watching some film. Just the little things you say.
Well, I'm sure it sounds amazing. We can't hear it.
I know. You guys. I haven't
for
muted right
rubbing
now
it
because we're
in.
talking, but yeah. I mean, let's wrap this up. Appreciate you coming on, Grant. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad.
Oh yeah.
We were able to have you on.
Yeah, no problem at all. I appreciate you guys having me.
For sure, man. We'll have to have you back sometime. Really appreciate your insight, and it's always good to get somebody that's working with that position at the time. And I know, that's one of the things that's great with Nick is, his coaching background as well. And so we do appreciate that time for sure.
Oh yeah, no problem at all, you guys. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything we can plug for you at all in terms of moving forward, like videos?
Yeah. What do you have coming up?
Your coaching or anything?
What do I got coming out? Well, tomorrow I should be breaking down. I'll be breaking down Lamar Jackson and his just throwing mechanics. So I'll be breaking down that tomorrow, and then I believe I'll have, and that's in terms of videos, and then just on my Instagram at First Down Training. Pretty much First Down Training on any social media platform. That's where you can find me and watch more of my stuff.
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. If you guys missed Jerry Jeudy at the beginning, we'll have the cut-ups available for the full video on Jerry Jeudy on YouTube, on Twitch. Same with CeeDee Lamb. But until next time, next Wednesday, 10:30, we'll see you then. Peace. Oh, God, Nick.